In this lifetime, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody except yourself. And after what you've gone through, if you haven't done that by now, it ain't gonna never happen.
You have to be able to like to be alone is a very important skill in life, because you're inevitably going to be facing such moments.
And it's you against you, and now all those endorphins are gone. And I promise you made by getting up early and getting after it to go lose weight and study harder, guess what? It's a lot harder now. So when you throw that towel in, they throw that motherfucker back at you and say you're not done yet. Stay true to yourself, stay hard.
Work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in, 80 to 100 hour weeks every week.
You didn't go for your dream. Even if it was a little tiny dream, what a life you had, because you lived your life scared.
And anybody and everybody can give you advice. I can tell you what to do, but at the end of the day, you have to make that decision yourself.
Are you truly doing whatever it takes to reach your goals? Now, I'm going to talk about bodybuilding, but this goes for anything in life. Are you truly doing whatever it takes? Now, whatever it takes, obviously everyone has a different version of what that entails. Do whatever it takes. Reach your goals. Make your dreams come true in whatever it is in life. And you can always do more.
Every single person that I have ever heard of, ever, that has built something amazing, delayed gratification for as long as possible, and also was very tired. Okay, we have people talking about how tired they are. I'm tired. No shit. That's a prerequisite to success. Every single thing that has ever been built, every single accomplishment that's ever been accomplished, every single thing that is worth mentioning in the history of Earth was built by people who were tired. Every single thing. Okay, so you getting on the internet and crying about how tired you are, or saying I'm tired, good. You're supposed to be tired. Can you execute when you're tired?
Ever tried? Ever failed? No matter. Try again. Fail again. Fail better.
Everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it. That's maybe the most important thing.
I mean, if other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you know that in 1 year you will achieve what they achieve. You will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve.
Our entire purpose is to go after something that we'll never get. We'll never get there. And it's not about some crazy journey. I mean, it's not about some destination. It's about getting there. It's about chasing something out in front of you that you'll never attain, but you can always get better. You can always learn, and you can always fail. And you're really lucky to have that. Most people don't get that. Most people don't get to throw everything on the line and have that. I mean, for what you guys do, going up there and you can bomb and embarrass the out of yourself every night.
You wheezing. The only thing you trying to do is get some air. You don't care about no basketball game. You don't care what's on TV. You don't care about nobody calling you. You don't care about a party. The only thing you care about when you're trying to breathe is to get some fresh air. That's it. And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep. Some of you love sleep more than you love success. And I'm here to tell you today, if you're going to be successful, you've got to be willing to give up sleep.
You have to worry about yourself. But this is Saturday. Your 6th day, you work so hard. Of course, you're gonna tired. Tomorrow rest, and Monday we're gonna begin one more training. If you don't want, go back to Dagestan and stay with your mom. She's gonna give you every day good breakfast. You don't do nothing. Stay there. But if you come here, don't complain. You want to become best. You want to become champion. And now you want to say like you're tired. Who cares? You tired or not? Nobody cares about you. Even you, if you're gonna watch fight, you just watch fight. They walk out inside the cage, they fight, and they leave. You don't know what happened behind the scenes. This is not your business. Nobody cares about this.
Yeah.
He was tired, he have personal problem, family problem. Nobody cares. You don't know, like, you just see how he fight and he go.
Yeah.
And for this one, you have to train so hard. If you don't want, halas, go back to Dagestan. Nobody gonna ask about yourself. Without you or with you, there is always gonna be champions.
We have people quit the first week, the second week, the third week. Because I'm hard. I don't give a f. Your mother died in your arms. Where's the weekly report, you cunt? I'm serious. I don't give a shit. We've had guys, their wife is giving birth. As God is my witness. He's a doctor, Dr. Joe. Push, honey. Oh, yeah, Dan, I got push, honey, push. I don't give a shit. Nobody, don't you understand? Nobody cares about all the trials and tribulations of your weak, cut lives. Don't you understand that? What the f do I have to do here?
No, bro, you can't get nothing in this life unless you work for it. Put that blunt down right now. I don't care if you laughing, you got off work, none of that. You ain't worked hard enough. Put that joint down, put that drink down until you get your work done, until you elevate your life. Cause you ain't seen this yet. You ain't touched the amount of dollars you want to touch. So why the hell you think you able to reward yourself with smoking, drinks, and partying and doing all this other stuff? No, we ain't got time to party. We got time to work. Party comes later. I told myself if I had to work till I'm 50, I'll party when I'm 51. They don't understand that type of mentality, motivation, and hustle. This don't come with just smoking weed and sitting in your room. This comes with hard work, dedication, motivation, inspiration to get out of your situation. Take patience.
Nobody, absolutely nobody, gives a f about you as much as you're going to have to give a f about yourself. Nobody cares about you as much as they need to care to fix your life. Even your parents, even your friends, even all the people who think they care about you, they care about you. Yeah, sure, there may be 2 or 3 people on the planet who genuinely care about you, but nobody is going to come to your bed, drag you out of bed, drag you to a job, force you to work hard, go and get you a hot bitch, and go and buy you a Ferrari. Nobody is going to do that for you. You are never going to have any of the things you want if you do not get them yourself. Nobody cares about you enough to do it for you. This is absolutely true.
It's a mind thing, you know. You have to be smart enough to be able to know what you want to go after. You know, so you have to you have to have goals in life. You know, you can't just expect everything to knock on your door.
Just do it, or shut the f up. Lock in, do that shit. Don't tell nobody your plans. Pop out silently.
God could bless you with everything you could have dreamed of: a house, internet, food, like all the most delicious foods, the fastest internet speeds, all the clothes you could have ever wanted, and you don't actually value it until you lose it. And then when it's gone, you start acting right. Yo, you shouldn't have to wait till the thing that you wanted your whole life. You shouldn't have to wait till it's all about to disappear for you to act right. You should be so grateful in all the things that you have that you've been acting right. You've been moving like you were grateful for it. Because there's, bro, like you start missing prayers, like, bro, you're really grateful. Like you dead ass, why didn't you hit the prayer? Oh, I was too lazy.
Everybody gets their chance, look. Everybody's gonna get their chance. Whether you play ball, whether you play football, whether you box, whether you wrestle, whether you swim, whether you want to be the next Michael Phelps, you want to be the next track star, you want to be the next guy that races cars and shit. If you want to design the best car, design the next phone, design the next big laptop, the next shoe, the next sock, the next pants, the next hat, everybody's gonna get their turn, literally. And I want everybody to acquire this knowledge and acquire this hope. Everybody will get their turn. What you speak to the world and craving and ambition and wanting anything is the way to speak to the world. If you want something so bad and you speak it into power, you wish it into power, it's gonna happen. I'm firsthand, and I firsthand will tell you that.
Make decisions based on what you care about more, and without even being conscious that you're getting tested. you're gonna be getting tested. And so you're gonna have decisions to make. Should I, you know, continue this lifestyle, whether it's shopping, clothes, whatever your lifestyle is, or do I gotta sacrifice a little bit because I really, really care about this music and it really is important to me. So whatever I gotta do, I'm gonna do it, and that's gonna be them distinguishing decisions. You know what I'm saying? That separate the ones that end up getting it from the ones that don't.
How you gonna knock somebody in the world for actually trying to do something? Trying. Since when has it become not cool to try? Fuck loser.
I mean, you can't. Look, it's a gift and a curse. You can't want the bells and whistles and not understand the sacrifices that come with it. The work that goes into building things, sometimes you gotta be hands-on until you don't have to be. And the grind that goes with that is one that's necessary.
Bro, it's gonna be trials and tribulations where it's gonna test you to stop right here. And what's gonna separate you from everybody else is will you keep going or will you just stop?
Don't give up, because a year ago, I was finna quit this shit. Like, it was gonna be like a hobby instead of a passion, you know? Because I mean, I feel like after a certain point in an artist, whether they want to admit it or not, if they're not seeing results, they're gonna start doubting themselves. But I'm glad I kept going, because look, now, like, shit's paying off. So I think the main advice I give myself is just to not give up and keep striving.
You can do whatever you want. The world is yours. And I'm telling the young cats of our generation, don't discriminate against anybody, because we're all one generation. And that's some important shit, yo. I mean, who would have thought a ghetto kid with gold teeth and French braids from the hood would be in Vogue and GQ on the same month, at the same time, about the same. And that's when you got to figure out what's right for you, you know what I mean? And, you know, just because that's my thing, you know, and if it is your thing, you know, figure it out, do what you got to do. You know, I did what I did and I made it in a positive way. And I feel like anybody could do it, straight up.
No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. The bottom line is, no one's coming. No one.
And you're the only one personally that can answer that question for yourself. You've got to have your own list of whys. Here's what I want you to do when you go home after you've left this extravaganza. Work on your list of whys. One of the big thrusts for success is to come up with a strong enough why. In leadership training, here's what we learn. If the why is powerful, the how is easy. But if the why isn't strong, if your goals aren't powerful, if the vision isn't clear, the old prophet said, without a vision we die, without a vision we perish, without a dream we're nothing.
I gotta remind myself, since we're in a time where it's like everybody gets taken care of no matter what, which I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm saying it kills a little bit of the humanity in us, that, you know, that drive. Because that drive, it's like that's reactionary. You know, that's that fight or flight. And I feel like now the reason there is so much motivational stuff out there is because we need it as humans. Because there's a net under us all the time now.
You can do it the right way. You cannot be part of that, and these other things. You can do it the right way. You can be raised right, you can talk right, you can act right, you can walk right.
When you get to yourself, you're like, man, can I stop this? Can I change this? I can do this. Once you know better, you gotta almost do better. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I refuse to ignore it. I refuse to see it an opportunity that I had to change things and act like it didn't exist. And I think that was the thing for me that was like, nah, I gotta, if that's my purpose, if that's my path, is to just see it and I can see the pieces, and if I can just continue to do this, or if I stay down the pathway on that, and I might be able to make a big difference in my nephew's life or my future children's, my future grandchildren's life, I got to do that.
You know, I really don't have regrets. I am a person that says, you know, as soon as you look back in your history and you come up with something that you feel like you want to change, something else has to change. You know, so.
What about your biggest disappointment?
Once again, that's the same analogy. You know, disappointment to me, to win, you got to lose. To be successful, you got to have something that's not successful. To be happy, you got to have disappointment. So I think all of those things have evolved and happened to make me who I am and understand the benefits and the privileges I have for being who I am.
Anybody that decides to go from a place they are to a place that they want to be is going to have to let go of people who can't go there with them. And this isn't a value judgment about the people that are doing the personal growth thing are better than the people that are already fine as they are and are happy leading a different sort of life. It's that if you know that there is something that you're meant to do, if you know that there's something that you're meant to change, you will have to let certain groups, friends, routines, places, activities, recreations that you do, you're going to have to let those go. And there is this, the Rocky cutscene lasts for 90 seconds in the movie, but it can last for 5 years in your life. And you have no idea whether or not it's even going to work. And that's the bit that always got to me. The bit that always got to me was I didn't even know if there was going to be any glory on the other side. It's like ordering an Uber and never knowing if it's going to arrive or not. And you think, well, I'm just stood here doing the thing, but I don't know if it's going to come out on the other side. And I can promise you, anybody that has done anything, moved from any place they were to any place that they want to be, has gone through this lonely chapter.
And learning how to let go and learning how to love myself and learning how to just be rather than have my entire life, my entire self-worth be about how much I'm doing or how much I'm creating or how much money I'm making and all of this. All of these unreal ideas about what it means to be a human.
You gotta be good to be successful. You gotta be good at the thing. If you suck at basketball, you're not gonna be successful at basketball, no matter how much passion you have for it. But if you don't have passion for something, you will not put in the work, and you will not mull over the details day in and day out to try to become a perfectionist at it. And thus you probably won't be successful, even if you're not at something, unless you really, really like it. So part 2 here, find out what you like to do, is you're already good at some stuff and you know what you're good at. So of those things that you're good at, you gotta try to find, do you really like them? And if so, how much? Couple questions to ask. One is, which one of these things do I like the most out of the others? Pretty simple. Maybe you can rank them. Another one is, can you really see yourself pouring years into your time, to master these things?
I think that the standard the standard you set on yourself is what's attractive. Yes, the great body and the physical shape comes with it, but I feel like women are attracted to that in general.
Competition is for losers. When people compete, someone loses. So go where you're the only one. Do what only you can. Run a race with yourself.
If winning to you requires someone or something to deem you something, you might get it, but you also might not get it. If your goal is to be the best version of yourself, or to put a certain amount of time or energy, or to push yourself to a place that you've never been before, well, now winning is something that's in your control. And so I just try to focus on that. I try to run my own race. I've been a runner most of my life.
That you give everything that you possibly can give, there is satisfaction in knowing that I did my absolute best. I did all I could do. There's victory in that. There's satisfaction in there. Have you ever went out for something and tried to do something, and when you got home quietly in your room, you knew that you had that much more that you could have gave, but you didn't want to look ugly in the face because your girlfriend was looking, or your boyfriend was looking. You didn't want to frown up like that and look, embarrass yourself. So I held back a little bit. Then you know that in your heart, you did not give everything.
Discipline is the most difficult thing, not only in the sports, but in the life. I fight against my mind. Yes, sometimes it's happened. We are all human beings. We are not happy every day. We are, not in a good mood every day. It's normal. It's part of us. I fight against that. It's the big challenge. It's when you're not willing to do something, but you have to do it. This is the main point. This is why I say our mind, it's a box of surprises, and you have to challenge yourself to be consistent. I repeat, sometimes it's hard. It's what many people say, you like to go to the gym every day. Of course, no. It's not true. Nobody likes to go to the gym every day. But you have to do it. Probably yes, because your mental strength is coming from that.
I've been in a boxing gym and guys have given me great sparring and great work. Really? And it made me go home because they say an ass whooping will humble you. And if a guy give me great work in a boxing gym, I go home and say, you gotta tighten up, champ. Yeah. You gotta get it together, champ. And then sometimes I go home and say, is this for me? Really? Yeah, I mean, if somebody give me some good work, if I go to the gym slacking, which I shouldn't go to the gym slacking, but I'm only human, like I said before. I make mistakes, but I strive every day to be a perfectionist. And we all know God only made one thing perfect, and that's my boxing record.
It got to be so many eyes on me that I had to stick to my purpose. And before I let somebody define me or somebody tell me what's my purpose or things of that nature, I just think, man, it's my mother, bro. I'm gonna be keeping it real. My mother, my brothers, my family, my boys, they just kept me like, I just wanted to be the difference. I didn't want to play. I was around everybody that kept playing, but didn't see how important it was by every minute they wasted. Everybody, a lot of people that complain is actually complaining about themselves. I feel like 90% of them are. Well, even if I'm in the hood, I was better off in the hood.
The voice inside you that tells you can't do it. It's the voice of fear. We all have that little voice inside of us. So what you say to them is find someone who will keep you honest by making you accountable by having a buddy. And the buddy says, wait a minute, you and I said we were gonna meet at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I showed and you didn't. Come on. You said you were gonna be there. And when you announce to somebody else that you're gonna do something, you kind of make a commitment back and forth to a friend. So it's really important maybe not to try to do it alone.
What could you do to improve yourself? Well, let's step one step backwards. The first question might be, why should you even bother improving yourself? And I think the answer to that is something like, so you don't suffer any more stupidly than you have to.
You're up too old. Job's not finished. Job finished? No, I don't think so.
Okay. My reason for the book is to make people better. My reason for the book is to make people understand, yo, we all are great. We all should think that we're great. There's no reason for you to not think that you're great. If you don't think you're great, ask yourself why. Why don't you think the highest of yourself? When you do, people have no choice but to follow suit.
A lot of times I'll be in a 200-mile run or something like that, and I'm all jacked up. Body's broken, mind's broken, spirit's broken. I started to say, what if I can pull this off? When I first walked into the Navy SEAL recruiter's office, he looked at me and said, there's only been 35 African Americans in 70 years make it through. You know what I said to myself? What if I can be the 36th? It's the what if I can pull off a miracle. What if I can become someone that no one thinks I can be? And just me talking about that, I have the hair going up on my arms because it makes me just like, what if I can be that guy that people who call Nick and this and that, and now I'm speaking at Tom Ferry's event.
When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
Every one of those companies with no money. Zero money, man. Just hustle and grit and courage. I've called on people I didn't want to be with. I've done things I didn't want to do, okay? It is not about doing what you love. It's about doing whatever it takes. to make your dreams a reality, to be closed and stay closed. If you're not closed on your product, if you're not buying your own product, why would you expect anybody else to? Man, $400 is a lot of money. Your prospect says to you, $400, do it. Listen to me, man. You're 32 years old. You've been trying to save money for 20 years and you hadn't. Do it and do it now. I don't need anything special here. I'm not going to be empathetic. Quit being stupid. Write the check.
But you just keep doing the right thing. And most importantly, you got to be consistent, right? You can't just do it once or twice. You got to do it all the time. And it's the little things that add up more than the big things. So I always think the balance of intensity versus consistency. So intensity is something like this. You've come in for 3 days. It's an intense time. It's intense education. You're on this, and anything intense is easily measured and captured in time, right? But consistency is the little stuff that is innocuous and doesn't seem to do anything. Like saying good morning, you know, in the hallway. Well, that does nothing if you do it once, but what if you do it every day? You know, like how long did, you know, when did your wife fall in love with you? Like, I don't know. Like, it wasn't because you remembered her birthday or bought her flowers on Valentine's Day. Those are intensity. It's the little things you did.
There are no failures. There's only quitting. Every single hardship, every single obstacle is going to serve you if you allow yourself to let it serve you. So what these people think, their doubts and their criticism and their bullshit, their loser mentality, put it all up here on your shoulder, and when you don't feel like it, and when you're frustrated, and when you want to quit, take the proper amount out, and the proper amount is the amount that gets you off your ass and gets you executing. Because if you are executing day in and day out, no matter what, there is not a single fucking thing that can stop you.
For me, I'm very comfortable in my own head. I'm very comfortable alone for hours at a time, for days at a time. It doesn't mean I haven't felt loneliness. It doesn't mean that I don't feel lonely at times, but it's not acute. It's not something I can't deal with. And to me, from what I see, is the one companion. Let's think this through. The one companion outside of God, if you follow God, if you believe in God and you have Him, then there's always a friend that sticketh closer to a brother. But we're talking about the human issue. The one companion that's always going to be with you is yourself.
Every once in a while, and maybe you guys have seen little snippets of me that I have a little grudge from time to time. And I think that's totally fine. I think emotion, you know, maximizing and optimizing our potential is physical, mental, and emotional. I believe that. Physically, I was able to. Mentally, emotionally, there's little triggers absolutely all the time. Some opponent says something in check. They really didn't want me in high school. Check. Oh, I was a 6th-round pick. Check. All those little things add up. But the man in the glass, that's the one that motivated me. He's the guy I was accountable to. Nothing that anyone did took away from me. The only person that could take away from me is me.
So I quit everything, and it became, I just quit everything. Kept quitting. After that, I just quit them. When things got rough, quit. Right. Quit. And finally one day I go, for me to get anywhere, you got to stick it out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when I started selling cars. All the salesmen go with the hot salesman. Ian leaves, and then Ian calls me and goes, bro, you're not going to believe it. We can't keep the cars here. And I go over there, and ain't nothing going on. Then 60 days later, I leave, and I go somewhere else. Then 60 days later, I go somewhere else. And then one day, I stop at my own dealership. And out of the 12 guys I started with, that one dude stayed. And he's making $200,000 a year. Because he stayed, he learned the product. Right. And he committed to it. Right. Me, I was going to Dodge 1 month. Let's go sell Toyotas. You don't know nothing about the car. Right. You don't build no rapport. And that's why now I learned to stay with things. Yeah, man. Because I f***ed so many things, and I learned that it's not quitting the big things as much as the little things.
Be stressed sometimes. I can't do the things that I really want to do. Like, I can't go out to the clubs. I can't do that. But it's all part of this whole thing, and I understand that fully. I understand that a lot of this, you have to make sacrifices. You got to put yourself in a position to literally achieve and be great. And what's gonna make you great? You have to discipline, put time into it, think different, be different, live different. Keep God first. And I'm not gonna lie, chat. I see it from the beginning. Y'all know my whole story. Y'all know what I'm about. Y'all know how I am. I gotta be able to stew it for all the times that I have been down, come from the shelter. From now, like, I think about it for my mom. Like, I'm really doing this for my family, my friends, everybody. Please chase whatever goals you got in life. Like, literally, and be kind to everybody. And just it's so much people that is grinding. And if they just had the chance.
What you did back there ain't got nothing to do with what God got for you. What you did back there was learn the lessons to get you to where you are at this particular moment right here. But what God got for you, do you know, man, that you can actually mess your life completely up? You can jack it all the way up and you can turn around and get it right. Do you understand that? Do you understand that you could have had a baby out of wedlock and still be all right? Do you know that you can be divorced multiple times and still be okay? Do you understand that you cannot have a degree and still be just fine? You wanna know how I know? Because I'm telling you what I know. I lost everything twice. I don't know if you've ever lost everything before, but I've been bottomed out twice. I done seen rock bottom 2 times. I've been through some walls up in here, man. I'm just trying to tell you, man, God is really with you. You ain't gotta believe me. You ain't gotta believe me. But keep doing it without God. Let me know how it worked for you.
So I hope it is an absolute priority for you to learn to take back your focus in life, for you to get more distinct and more clear about what your focus really is, and for you to finally decide, you know what, if I don't finally get my focus in check, if I keep wandering around distracted, if I keep looking at every new thing that pops up, if I keep trying every single new opportunity, if I keep saying yes to everything, if I keep listening to everybody's complaints, and if I keep doing whatever they ask me to do, at some point, you'll lose your life. And I don't mean that physically as in harm or death. I mean that one day you'll wake up and say, I don't feel like I've accomplished what's meaningful to me. I don't feel like I'm in a job that I care for. I don't feel like I have connection with my family or my friends. Because at some point, your focus drives everything. It drives your thoughts and your emotions, right? What you focus on is certainly, if you focus on the negative things, you're gonna be negative. If you fail to focus on the things that are important, meaning your priorities, then what happens to your relationships? What happens to the overall quality of your life? Focus is driving everything in your life. You got to get it back. It's not just about being productive. We'll talk about that. It's about experiencing the best quality of life.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you because I know how hard it is to take care of ourselves. You know, I know how hard it is to take care of ourselves. I know that for me, I never wanted to take care of myself because if I took care of myself, then I was doing somebody else's job. Instead, I just always wanted to show you how much I was hurting, you know? And so starting to take care of myself was doing the opposite of that. And it was the opposite of the whole thing that I'd like, oh, you're gonna see, when you look at me, you're gonna see how much I hurt, you know? And starting to take care of myself is a total opposite of that. So I hear that in you today, and I'm thankful for that, man. I really am. And I'm grateful that I have moments like this. These are moments that mean something to me, you know? 2 guys trying to be honest, and not even being gay and just being honest.
I don't care if you say we outnumbered. We live by this and we die by this. We don't retreat. We don't run. Every man must search his own soul. That's why that Martin Luther King quote, that's why I say like you don't judge a person by where they stand in times of comfort and convenience. You judge them by where they stand in times of challenge and controversy. And if you ain't work, like when you work for something, it gives you a different type of attachment to it. The harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. That's why cats can give up so easy. They ain't got nothing invested. They ain't worked for it. They ain't sacrificed for it. Every time it get tough, they go blow weed. They ain't working for it, right? They ain't got nothing sacrificed into it. But when a cat work for something, like when a cat been sacrificed for something, well, you gonna have a cold day in hell before you take it from him.
because they value it different.
The idea of pursuing happiness, not leading to happiness. You know, you pursue things that have meaning in life and things that you care about. You know, love, challenges, relationships, and happiness might ensue. But you don't pursue the happiness itself because it's inevitably not going to be there all the time. So if you're just constantly seeking more happiness and it's not there, then you're seeking something that's never going to be there. But if you're able to just stick in what you're doing right now, and in those hard times, believing they're going to lead to good times, it just creates a lot less friction in your life, you know? And I think whenever we're going through a hard time, we just want it to end. But it's those moments that allow us to appreciate the good ones. You know, I think sometimes a quick word of just looking in them and being like, I know, you're not alone. Give them a hug and be like, this is shit right now, and it's okay. But you're not alone.
Everything changed for me when I realized that we're not meant to feel excited and perfect all the time. I started accepting that where I am right now is where I'm genuinely meant to be. Tough days are all a part of the process. Lean into them. Bad days are also part of a very good and meaningful life. So on my toughest days, I think about getting through one more day, one more workout, one more rep.
There are people right now that are living their life still in their 40s and 50s based on the opinion of their parents. They think they're doing the right thing because they actually love their parents. I get it. I love my parents so uncomfortably much, it scares me. But they live it because they're appeasing lawyer, 2 kids, living in this area, doing this job, don't take risks because we told you not to. We came from a generation that didn't, so you're doing that. Or I was once an entrepreneur and f***ed up, and so we were scared, so now you don't do that. They live for their parents. They think it's good because everything's good because you're doing what your parents want. You feel like it's good. And then life keeps going. And then what starts happening is they start to resent their parents. Because now they're popping to their 50th birthday, their 60th birthday, their 65th birthday. They get a health scare and they're like, fuck, I'm not doing what I want to be doing. My friends, until our society, and this country especially, redefines success in being happy, not being rich, everybody will continue to go down the path that we're seeing in our society of depression, anxiety.
You were born to do something great with your life. I am no different than you. No man or woman is different than you. We're the child of the same God. We're all born to do something great with our lives in big ways and in what most people think are small ways. These quiet gestures you do every day for other people that the rest of the world doesn't see on Instagram, and it doesn't get you on YouTube, and it doesn't get 1 million views, but you're not invisible to them. You were not born to be invisible.
I'm motivated by fear.
Greatness is not this wonderful, esoteric, elusive, God-like feature that only the special among us will ever taste. You know, it's something that truly exists in all of us. It's very simple. This is what I believe, and I'm willing to die for it.
Self-motivated, because the greatest motivational speakers of all time are self-motivated people. Here's how the phase of motivation works. There's nothing wrong with you watching this right now saying, Pat, I watch you because I need the direction, I need the challenge, I need somebody to kick my ass, I need somebody to motivate me. Nothing wrong with that. But if you need this for 20, 30 years, there's a problem. If you need this forever, there's a problem. Why would somebody invest into a company that is going to go out there and make money on the money that they're investing into a company if this person needs to be motivated all the time? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, you have to realize at some point, you got to come up with a formula to self-motivate yourself. I get a lot of messages. People say, Pat, I got to tell you, man, I sleep in a lot and I'm lazy. And what do I need to do to get motivated? Please say something to motivate me. I don't respond back to those messages. If you send a message like that, that you want somebody to motivate you, I'm not the right guy for you, because I don't work with the people that I need to motivate. I work with the self-motivated. You're going to drive yourself insane, sucking out all the energy if you constantly have to motivate everybody.
Nervous as excited. They all say the same thing. No, I'm not nervous. I'm excited.
And so I've actually practiced it just to tell myself when I start to get nervous that this is excitement. You know? And so I used to speak in front of a large audience, and somebody would say, how do you feel? I used to say, a little nervous. Now when somebody says, how do you feel? I'm like, really excited, actually. And it came from just sort of telling myself, no, this is excitement. And it becomes a little bit automatic later on. But it's kind of a remarkable thing to deal with pressure by interpreting what your body is experiencing as excitement rather than nerves. And it's really kind of effective. It makes you want to rush forwards rather than pull back, and yet it's the same experience.
I played to learn something, right? Because I think if you play with a fear of failure, or you play with the will to win, or that supersedes the fear of failure, I think it's a weakness either way, right? Because if you play with the fear of failing, you'll have the pressure on yourself to play, to capitulate to that fear. If you play with the sense of I want to win, then you have the fear of what happens if you don't. But if you find common ground in the middle, in the center, then it doesn't matter. You're unfazed by either, right? And that enables you to really just stay in the moment, stay connected to it, and not feel anything other than what's in front of you. So I try to just be dead center.
Because when you don't have money, you have creativity. You're like, as long as you got a commitment, you're like, I gotta go get this money from somebody else. So in the roofing business, I'm just gonna go get people to give me money. I'm gonna start knocking on doors, banging doors out, selling roofs, get people to give me money. If I didn't have any money today, what would I do? I'd go out there and start getting money. I'd sell stuff. Hey, these shoes, man, can I sell the shoes? Can I sell the jeans? Can I sell the shirt? Can I sell the watch? You just gotta be committed, right? I don't want the watch, I want the money. I want the money because I want to grow my business. So where you lack creativity, you lack commitment. Right? When you're blocked and you don't have answers, it's because you lack commitment to whatever it is you want to go to. So I always just ask the big question: hey, what do I got to do to sell the place out? What do I have to do to replace the money?
You have to think about what perception of a strong man. He could be a strong man in a criminalist perspective, in the illegal perspective, and that could be the strongest identity that he sees. And so he can go off in that level of crime as well. But it's all about, and when I say that, even these people in crime, they're great men. I won't say they're all good men, but they're great men. And so if we could really concentrate on doing the best we can from our perspective of being a good man and transform that into other children, other young boys, that will be a start.
Invariably, it's the same few things. I worked very hard on something that I felt was worth doing. I worked out, and I spent time with people that I enjoy being around. If I do those three things, I had a good day. And so that's been my, Alex's simple blueprint for doing things. And I think the point that you were making earlier, I think it's worth hitting on again, which is just that, most people's definition of work is a negative one, which is why they abhor it, which is also why they misunderstand so many people who quote here, are successful or ahead of them or whatever, is that both people, one person says the word work and the other person hears the word pain. And so the first step to becoming more successful is understanding the language that the people who are successful are using. They're actually defining the word differently. And so whatever that thing is that you actually enjoy doing, where you lose track of time when you're in it, even if it's challenging, but usually it is challenging, right? It's not easy because then it's boring, right? Which is also why the uncertainty thing is so key, right? To not knowing if it's gonna work or not. You are gonna work though, either way. Is that the people who are, quote, addicted to work make it easy to be addicted to work because they do things worth doing.
If they don't have what you want, don't listen to what they say. There's no greater waste of time than justifying your actions to people who have a life you don't want.
We all have these ladders of battles, roads we have to walk in our given lives. Be you famous or whoever's out there listening. We all have our individual challenges. It's cliche, money don't make it better. It don't. Fame just magnifies the problems. I never looked at things as problems. I look at them as opportunities. Maybe that's something I can say. Someone, but she did this, and I was, well, what an opportunity you have. Yeah, well, the world, because they said this and CNN said that. Yeah, well, what an opportunity you have to make a difference. Because you never know who's watching.
I do not believe that any of us have dreams that were not given to us for the purpose of accomplishing those particular dreams. And I want to share something with you that has changed my life. I started out, as was indicated by Jack, it's very humble beginnings. I don't know what that dream is that you have. I don't care how far-fetched it might appear to be. I don't care how disappointing it might have been as you've been working toward that dream. But here's what I know, that that dream that you're holding in your mind, that it's possible. Let's say that together, please. Say, it's possible. See, sometimes we can't say, I can do that. But what we can say, that it's possible that I can have my dream as we run toward it, as we work on it day in and day out.
Do you know how great it felt that I knew where I was going? Imagine the majority of people don't know where they're going. I knew where I was going, that I'm going to become this bodybuilding champion just like him. So it was just a question of how do you do it? I was so relieved because when you have a goal, when you have a vision, everything becomes easy.
If you don't own something, you're not the boss. You have to take full responsibility for everything that you do. Why be subservient? You must be the master of your own kingdom. You'll walk into things with your eyes fully open. You've got to know what you're getting into. You have to take possession of your life, where you remember that there's a world out there trying to tell you who you are, and there's a world in here that's trying to tell you who you are. Now, where do you want to put your eggs? Because the world outside is very noisy and very tempting, and has all the razzmatazz, has all the tinsel and all the glitter. It's got all the toys. But that's because you don't think you're enough in the first place.
What can I do to do my part to stay out of the way? And then the other part, I always think of it as like this little super thin, invisible thread. But you can feel the tug, and you just you have to be really gentle, and you have to pause when agitated, and you have to go for it when you're going like, there's 4 walls in here, which one has the map behind it? It's that one. And you knock down the wall and it's there, you know. Some people that are that, because there's an ability to, maybe it's fear-based, but I always appreciate people who, you know, those people like their icons or big shots, or that they hold a certain esteem, and all of their texts are very simple. It's like, yes, we should fix that.
Like, it is in my mindset that literally every negative thing that happens to me is my fault. I recognize that that's not true. You know, when I talk about this publicly, everybody starts bringing up stuff like what if you're raped? And what if this and that? I understand. I'm a logical, practical person. I'm not talking about knowing or thinking everything is my fault. I'm talking about living a life where you default into believing that as your mindset. Because what happens is you start spending all of your time on offense. My friends, do you guys, listen, here's what freaks me the fuck out. I wish everybody in this conference, including myself, by the way, who spends all his time on this, I wish we had better perspective. I wish that there was some crazy, that dude right there with the weird horse t-shirt, I wish he was some weird genie that could take us back into time 80 years ago so that every one of you could live one day in your great-great-grandparents' shoes and understand how good you have it.
When I felt like I was a man, and I said there was 3 things that I felt let me transition from being, you know, mentally insecure about who I was as a person to being, okay, I'm actually good with who I am. Number 1 was learning how to fight. And, you know, I got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and mixed martial arts, and I learned how to fight. And now, all of a sudden, when I looked at other people, I wasn't posturing. I wasn't trying to pretend that I was tough. I knew that most people that I would encounter, I could defeat in a physical altercation. That was number 1. Number 2 was going into combat, because even though you might be tough in a street fight or in a fist fight with someone, when you're facing death, well, that's a whole nother level. And for me going into combat, well, what was I going to act like? Was I going to be scared? Was I going to be a coward? Was I going to be scared of death? And when I went into combat, I wasn't. I was fine. I was okay with the fact that I could die, and I was okay with that. And I made good decisions and did what I was supposed to do. And the last one was I got married and had kids.
One thing in life, this applies to everything in life. Anytime you move from being normal to trying to be exceptional, people aren't gonna like that. Most normal people, it makes them feel like they're gonna judge you. And nowadays, it's very easy to be a coward. Why? We got Instagram and most folks don't tell you to your face. They go online, they post about like cowards. Don't let cowards get in your head. And last thing, make sure you do you.
Most of the things you need to do, you already know what to do, and you delay doing them by under the guise of having a better plan. But the reality is that your plan is always going to change as soon as you get new information. And so the point is to start, period, and learn. I love this from Andy Frisell. He said, personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion. And so I think, like, you want to be a fucking rebel, be excellent, and do it for you. Like, you want to stick it to the man now, just be great. You just have to be able to do things without seeing an immediate reward. Like, if there's one meta skill that overshadows all of this, it's your ability to delay gratification, is to delay a moment of reward. And I will read you the quote that Layla had framed and put in my office. Ask the girl, shoot the shot, launch the business, run the ad, quit the job, take the risk, because when you're 85 years old and on your deathbed, you're not going to wish you had fewer crazy stories.
3 things that I determined that are extremely important if you want to reshape your future. Number 1 is your work ethic. When you get back from work, right? I know we're tired, but do you clock in towards building your dream, towards building the avatar character that you have? Or are you just going to doom scroll on TikTok and watch Netflix? Your work ethic is extremely important, and it costs nothing to have a strong work ethic. Now, you don't just want to have a strong work ethic when you clock in. You want to have a strong work ethic towards your dreams. Number 2 is a good attitude. Nobody will ever do business with somebody that has a attitude. Nobody. Nobody wants to be around those people, especially long term. You may get away with it for a little bit. But if you're a hater, if you're a loser, if you present yourself with negativity, people won't want to be around you. And it's free to have a good attitude. Number 1 is your work ethic. Number 2 is your attitude. And number 3 is your understanding that you need to be a student. What do I mean by this? I see so many brokies online, the haters online. They think they know everything. But you examine their bank account, you examine their network, you examine their connections, and you examined the plans that they have for the future. And they don't have a student's mind. They don't care to learn new things. But you need to understand that you don't know anything in order to progress.
I was buying and selling baseball cards, garbage bags, whatever I could find, stamps to collectors. But I was also reading everything I possibly could about business. And, you know, I was that unusual kid that I'd rather read about Ted Turner than go to the movies. And so I think that created a foundation. And my parents didn't always, my dad used to always say, I don't understand what you're doing, but I'm glad you're doing it. And so I had my ups and downs along the way, of course. But I just think that I just put in the time and was fortunate enough to really get excited about business, and that paid off benefits over the long haul.
If this dollar doesn't lose its worth of its value, then why do you feel like you've lost your worth of value? Because many of you feel like you've been stepped on, you feel like you've been pushed aside, you feel like you've been abandoned, you feel like you've been talked about, you feel like you've been abused, like someone took from you, someone hurt you, somebody took advantage of you, and deep down inside your core, you feel like you've lost some of your value. And I am here to tell you today that this dollar still has worth and value, because there are some men years ago who put value over this life and said that no matter what happens to it, it can still be taped back together. It can still be wiped off. And I am here to tell you that you were created and you're born and you're here and you have life and you have purpose and you have value. And though you've gone through some hard times and though you've experienced some depression and you might be wanting to hurt yourself and you might want to give up, I am here to tell you you still got worth and value. And there is nothing that can happen that can take your worth and your value away. So what you gotta do now is you gotta pick yourself up. You gotta dust yourself off and you gotta keep moving.
I never tell you what you can't do. My dream was to play baseball in America, and I want to do everything in my power to make sure that happened. And there was a lot of hiccups along the way. I had my first heart attack when I was 12. I had glandular fever, I had bacterial meningitis. But people kept telling me I wouldn't do it. So it made me work really hard to make sure I could do it. I was lucky enough at the age of 17 to sign a contract and live in America and play baseball. But as you know, life is like a roller coaster. You can get to a pinnacle point in your life and it can get taken away from you in a heartbeat. At the age of 18, I was playing baseball in Phoenix, Arizona. I slid into a base at second and I woke up 3 days later. And at the age of 18, I suffered my career-ending heart attack and I was sent home. I was a depressed boy. I thought life wasn't fair. And I would pray every night, but I wouldn't wake up in the morning. I just wanted God to take me. But I kept waking up every morning. Yet every time I've been knocked down, I always remember what my mum's taught me. Son, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up that truly determines the quality of your life.
And the dangerous man is never the loudest man. Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm saying that you need to be careful about who you follow. In my experience, I don't care how big a fella is. I don't care how tough he is in a ring where there's rules and there's referees looking out for stuff. I don't care how much he works out. I don't care how much he walks around without a shirt on. I don't care how big his tattoos are. The louder he is, the more insecure he is. A secure man don't have to put on fights. A tough man is not going to always tell you how tough he is. He's not going to get online and keep showing you clip after clip after clip of him hitting a punching bag, of him winning in fights and knocking people down.
I just feel like people are just not risky enough. People don't believe in themselves. I feel like it starts with you believing in yourself. It starts with you really saying, okay, I can do this. I can do the impossible. It's a mental thing where you really got to just sit down and be like, okay, I want to make it to the millions.
You don't need nobody to support you, bro. I don't care who it is. You don't need your mama, you don't need your daddy, you don't need your grandpa, you don't need your friends, you don't need your dog, you don't need your cat, you don't need your turtle, you don't need your squirrel. You don't need nobody, bro, except you and the man upstairs, bro. That's it, bro. Because at the end of the day, bro, you got people who only gonna support you once they start seeing progress, bro. They only gonna support you when they start seeing you grow. They only gonna support you when they start seeing your grind finally pay off. And that's just how it is, bro. Nobody cared. Nobody thought I was gonna make it. Nobody thought I was gonna be where I'm at except me. That's why I say you don't need support system, bro. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares until you already there. Nobody cares until they see a little buzz behind your name. That's when they want to hop on a little train and say, hey, bro, I've been supporting you, bro. I rock with the grind, bro. No, bro. I don't want to hear that now. Because me, I used to DM people on Twitter. People that I ain't even know. People that I was just randomly DMing people. The link to my YouTube. Hey, bro, can you know what I'm saying, subscribe to my channel? It'll help me out a lot. Get what they say? No. 2, 3 years later, 4 years later, the same people who going back and seeing that I DM'd them 3 years ago, guess what they saying? Oh, bro, I ain't even know you was gonna be this big, bro. My bad, bro. No! Ain't no my bad, cause I told you.
Stop having self-doubt. Stop self-sabotage. Stop watching everybody else get their shine on. Stop watching everybody else go up. Stop watching everybody else get lit while you sit back and tell yourself you can't because of what your family members told you back in the gap, because of what your teacher said, because of what your coach said, because of what your old friends said, or anybody that was close to you in your environmental raising back when you were growing up at your beginning life. You know, you have 2 lives. Your first life, not your second life. So your first life, get rid of all that doubt, get rid of all that negativity, get rid of all that hate, because it won't take you far and it won't help you get to the next level, especially with today's time. All you gonna keep doing is looking on the internet and seeing everybody glow up. And as everybody glow up, as everybody get more money, as everybody get more in shape, you're gonna look at yourself and continue to have self-doubt because you are not working on you. It takes you to work on you. I tell you all the time, it only takes one person to believe in you to get you activated, and that person is who? That person is you. Nobody else. We cannot come in and say, hey, you, we're going to change you. No, it takes you believing in yourself. It takes you getting activated. It takes you getting up. It takes you doing the searching and researching. It takes you wanting to go to the next level. Nobody else can want it as bad as you want it for yourself. I repeat, nobody else can want it as bad as you want it for yourself in order for it to happen. So stop having self-doubt. You need that faith of a mustard seed for you to go up.
They don't believe in you because they don't believe in themselves, bro. It's really that simple, bro. Like, that's all there is to it. We sit here expecting people to believe in what we got going on, but they don't even believe in themselves. Some of y'all don't even got parents that believe in y'all, for real. But you gotta understand, bro, it's trauma, bro. It's generational, where people never really seen people do the amazing things. The amazing things that you want to do, the dreams that you have, they never really seen that happen. They don't even know if it's possible or not. You supposed to lead the way. You supposed to break that generational curse. You supposed to be giving people hope. So you can't care about if something if people support you or not. You can't care about if people support your idea or not, support your dreams or not. That can't move you, bro, when they don't even support themselves, bro. Sometimes the leader that we've been looking for is us all along. Sometimes the dreamer that we've been looking for is within us. It's us. That person that you're looking to follow is you. That person that you're looking for validation for what you got going on, you got to give yourself the validation.